What exactly is becoming an anti-racist? Because I thought the bar was pretty simple. Just don't be racist. Or people scared to enjoy anything without running it through a political filter first, and that leads to more finger pointing, mostly at the wrong people. It's called Find the White Person. Fire away all these shows. Welcome to Stay in the Fray podcast. I'm your host, Ryan. This is where headlines get hit hard, hypocrisy gets shredded, and the absurd are laughed at. If you want comfort, this isn't your place. If you want blunt and unfiltered, I'm your guy. Join me in the fray.
All you gotta do is just listen up.
All right, guys, I'm going to do a fun one. Well, it's kind of fun, but if you like the show Friends, you'll like this episode, and you can get annoyed with me about. I tried to find a lot of the videos of the recent ones I saw. These people they're going after Friends. They're still going after Friends. I thought that was just a little fad. And it's not because I take these people seriously, but it just kind of keeps popping up. And every time it does, I don't know. I shake my head. I just don't. I mean, are you people serious? I mean, are we really going to go back and do this? If you're going to do it, I'm going to do it. So this is arguably one of the greatest comedy sitcoms of all time. It's not art. You can't even debate it with me. A lot of people say Seinfeld. Fair enough. I get it. But it's one of them. It's my favorite overall. I mean, I love Scrubs and I love Seinfeld. I love all of them. But Friends, I can still watch it. I mean, I throw it on at night still to relax, to laugh, shut my brain off a little bit before bed. It's comfort food television. So I always ask the same question when this bullshit comes up. Why this show? Why now? What's the point of going back and attacking something that brought people joy and still does? But fine, let's pretend just for a second that I'm taking this criticism seriously. I'm not, but let's ask the questions anyway. Is there actually any validity to the claim that Friends lacked diversity in some sort of immoral or offensive way? Let's start. Kind of starts with Friends co-creator, Marta Kaufman. She's said, I don't know how recently, not that long ago, that she regrets the lack of diversity on the show. She's embarrassed. She's said she didn't do enough. She talked about becoming an anti-racist and even pledged $4 million to fund African and African American studies. Good for her. But I have to pause. What exactly is becoming an anti-racist? Because I thought the bar was pretty simple. Just don't be racist. Why are we pretending that writing a show about people who look like you, live like you, and share your experience is some kind of moral failure? Marta, come on. She wrote about 6 white friends in uptown Manhattan. Something she actually knew, something she lived. Why is that bad? Would people rather she write about what it's like to be black in New York when that wasn't her experience at all? Because usually when people try to do that, they get dragged for it also. This idea that authenticity is now offensive is just so strange to me. And then you've got Adam Goldberg. Well, if you remember, he played Eddie in season 2, so very early on of the show. He was Chandler's temporary roommate. Really funny. I like Adam. I think he's great. And that character was really funny. But he was also quoted saying recently that the show had an insane lack of diversity and that it was unrealistic for New York City. Here's where it gets funny. Adam Goldberg is Jewish, Puerto Rican, and he was cast on the show. Season 2, recurring role. So let me get this straight. The show adds diversity by casting him and then somehow becomes proof that the show wasn't diverse enough in Adam's eyes. Is it really that unrealistic, by the way? I mean, to have 6 friends who hang out all the time that look the same, that look similar in New York City? I mean, it's not like the show was 37 people and not every single one of them was blonde hair and blue-eyed. Come on. I hate to break it to you, but most friend groups don't look like a census spreadsheet. Now, Aisha Tyler. She played Charlie Wheeler, a scientist, by the way, a serious character, long arc. She dated Ross. She dated Joey. She wasn't just a background extra. And she also has criticized the show for lack of diversity. People are allowed to have their opinions. That's fine. But let's also be honest. Aisha benefited from the show. She cashed those checks. And she got exposure. She ended up hosting Whose Line Is It Anyway after Drew Carey left. She's done a lot. It doesn't make her a villain, just makes the outrage feel a little thin. How about Quinta Brunson? One more. I'll just give you one more here. Brunson is also called out friends for the same thing. She's talented, no argument, but she wasn't even alive when the show started. This isn't lived outrage. This is inherited outrage. It is fashionable now to be mad at things that people used to love. Now let's deal with the myth itself, that Friends didn't, not only was lack of diversity, but they didn't have barely any black characters. That is false, objectively false. I've got receipts. Already talked about Aisha. She played a scientist with a major storyline. How about Gabrielle Union? Played Kristen Lang, who multiple episodes, maybe one or two, not many, but she was in a love triangle with Ross and Joey. They seem to always do that. And that was a great episode when they both tried to date her. Here we have Rhonda, the museum worker. She was fantastic as well. Worked with Ross and Joey at the museum. Season 1. Phil Lewis. He was an authority figure. He was Chandler's boss in later seasons. Recurring role. And he went on to have a major show, The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, on Disney Channel. How about Cal, who played Nick the Boxer in one of the episodes? The whole plot centered around him beating out Joey, who was his acting teacher, for a role. I think it was All My Children. Either way. This guy was the director, and Joey lied about being able to dance. The director left him there to teach the crew of everybody the musical number. Another funny scene. Here we go. Here's a double shot. Taj Mowry and Janet Hubert. How about these two? Disney legend, Taj. Plus, there were other black kids in that same scene. And yes, Aunt Viv herself from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. This guy was great. Mornings Here singer. Iconic moment in the show when he sang Mornings Here across the way. Rachel hated it. Joey loved it. Simple but fantastic character. Fireman that wouldn't let Phoebe throw away her smoke alarm or her fire alarm. Entire scene. Good looking dude. Good for him. How about another one of Chandler's bosses? And this was in season 1 also. Another authority figure early in the show. Craig Robinson, famous actor in a lot. I think he was in a lot of the Seth Rogen stuff and a lot of Kevin Smith stuff. But you've seen him before. Pretty big time actor, and he was there. That whole scene was built around him, and he made it funny. Ross's divorce attorney. That was hilarious. Professional character, a lawyer, competent, and he was judging Ross. It was so funny. Vegas security guard. Entire episode this guy appeared. And then the couch store employee from the famous Pivot episode where Ross breaks his couch trying to get it upstairs. And she played Nurse Laverne from Scrubs also, and she was iconic in that. Last but not least, the Brown Birds girl, another hilarious child character when Ross tried to sell the Brown Bird cookies after injuring accidentally one of the other girls. And those are just the ones I remembered off the top of my head. Once I dug in and looked further, I counted at least 25 more before I got bored looking for all the fucking pictures for you people. You get the point. These are receipts. They weren't invisible. They just weren't the leads. And that's the real complaint, isn't it? Not that they weren't there, but that the show wasn't about them. So now let's talk about the hypocrisy. Let's play a quick game right now. I'm going to have my guys rapid fire. It's called Find the White Person. Fire away all these shows. I'm still looking for a white person in all of those show posters. I didn't see one. And nobody gives a shit, including me. Nobody demands white representation on any of those great shows. Nobody asks for apologies. Nobody calls these shows exclusionary because they were shows about specific communities, and that was perfectly fine. There is literally a channel called Black Entertainment Television, BET. Totally fine. No issue for me at all. Just imagine, though, we've all thought this, if someone tried launching WET, it's funny enough that it spells out wet for some reason, but can you imagine white entertainment television? For a group that talks nonstop about inclusion, entertainment seems to get very isolated when it's convenient for them. Is this how they would have preferred Friends look? Now apply that to all the shows I just showed you. It's forced. It's silly from any angle. Just to be crystal clear, again, I don't care. I never did. I never watched TV counting races. I never watched Fresh Prince wondering where all the white people were. I never watched Friends wondering where the black people were. I just watched the shows. What sucks is that now, because of all this bullshit, I sometimes catch myself kind of analyzing these types of things that I never used to analyze. And that's the real damage. Not Friends, not comedy, not sitcoms from the 90s. The damage is turning everything into a moral audit instead of something you're allowed to enjoy after a long day. And now look where we've gone with it. It's not just relitigating old shows. It's this constant, forced re-engineering of everything. Example, Ariel from The Little Mermaid. A white girl with a mermaid girl with red hair. But now she had to be black for the movie. That's fine. But let's be honest, that wasn't about storytelling. It was about checking a box. And fuck, now you got productions of Jesus Christ Superstars where Jesus is suddenly a black woman. At some point, you stop asking, does this make any sense? And you start asking, what are we even doing anymore? And don't even get me started on the cultural appropriation. I've talked about it before, but I mean, just the idea that a little white girl can't dress as Pocahontas for Halloween. That's the message we're sending. We're going to go with that. Instead of celebrating differences, honoring Native Americans, we're supposed to be afraid of those differences, apparently. Somehow that's supposed to bring people together. Because all I see with it is more division, more walking on eggshells, more people scared to enjoy anything without running it through a political filter first. And that leads to more finger pointing, mostly at the wrong people. So no, I do not think Friends is racist and lacks diversity. I think this whole conversation is fucking stupid. However, I like talking about Friends. If anyone feels a little uncomfortable or embarrassed after watching this episode, good. Move forward. I just wanted it on record that I rolled my eyes hard at this whole thing. And like I said, any chance to talk about Friends, I'll take. So give me your thoughts. Am I wrong about this? Anyone still think after watching this and seeing my receipts, do you think it lacked diversity? Do you think that there was intent there? Or even if there wasn't intent, that it, I mean, by the way, let's just toss another one out there. A very important character in season 2 was Julie, and she was Asian. I didn't go through all of the other races because it doesn't seem to be those people who have a problem with it. Shoot me some comments. Let me know. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, do all the stuff that I always say, that everybody always says. Or shoot down some on any platform. Just toss me some of your favorite Friends stuff. I don't care. I love it. I love that show. So don't hesitate. Shoot me your favorite scene, and we can kind of reminisce about that show. So I wanted to get that out there. Hope you enjoyed it. Keep watching Friends on the reruns. It's still on like 3 channels. And I will see you next time. Love you guys.
All you gotta do is just listen up.